Morning everyone. So this morning we're going to do a nice little Pilates gentle movement just to get us warmed up for the day, and it's going to be nice and easy, just a little bit of coordination and breathing and nice easing into the day. Okay, so we'll make a start on our mat. So I'm just going to turn on some more lights. That's good. Okay, on your mat, and you can grab a pillow if you have one near you, or a cushion. On your back. Okay, so let's just start with a little bit of breathing here. So again, one hand on your chest, one hand on your tummy, and we're thinking about trying to get some nice abdominal breathing here, so nice diaphragm breathing. So the hand on the chest is stopping our upper chest from moving, and we're just focusing on letting that tummy rise as we breathe in and then fall as we breathe out. And try and only breathe through your nose if you can. And a nice pause after you breathe out before allowing that breath back in. Applying a little bit of pressure through the chest if you want, if you're inclined to use those upper chest muscles. Okay, and then just remembering that breathing the whole way through as we do our movement. We want to try and keep that same pattern. So then pop your hands on your pelvis. So we're going to just hold onto our pelvis, and we're going to start with a little bit of pelvic tilting. So we're rolling the pelvis forwards, kind of arching the back, so there should be a little gap between your lower back and the floor, and then tilting backwards, so tucking the tailbone in, flattening the back against the floor, and just rocking between those two movements. So we're just trying to figure out what's going on at our pelvis. You'd be surprised how many people can't do this. Okay, so we're just figuring out where that pelvis is. Nice rocking. And then just coming into a middle position between those two movements. So trying to find that middle ground between the two. And that's kind of our neutral pelvis position. Okay, so we're going to keep that position, holding the pelvis still if you like, and we're going to go for our leg slide. So we're sliding one leg out and back to the mat, other leg out and back to the mat, but keeping that pelvis where it is. So our legs are moving, but our pelvis is staying nice and still in that neutral position. And once you have that, just remind yourself about that nice breathing that we did. Thinking about getting that leg nice and straight each time. So nice purposeful movement here. And then when you're ready, we're going to go opposite arm with opposite leg, straight over the head, back down, opposite arm with opposite leg, and swapping. Getting a nice rhythm going. Getting the brain working, and just keeping an eye on what that pelvis is doing now that we've brought the arms in. Okay, and also think about our breathing here again. So this is where things sometimes get a bit messy because we're having to think about a few things at once. Okay, have a rest. So just reset, have a little feel, where is that pelvis gone again? back to that neutral position, so that middle position. And then we're going to go for some circles with the hips. So we're going to straighten the leg, lift up and out to the side and around, and then back on the mat. So out, up, around and back. So we're drawing circles through our hip. And remember, it's the whole leg that's moving. So it's coming from our hip. Nice. Now, again, keep those circles nice and small, because we're just going to keep the pelvis again exactly where it is, but it's only the hip that's moving here. So keep the circles small, and if you feel like you're able, then you can make them bigger, but we're not allowed to move the rest of the body. So really thinking about what you're doing here. And again, keep that leg nice and straight the whole way through those circles. And swap direction. So this time we're going to go leg out to the side first, around and down, and then back to the mat, and then out, around and down. So we're just swapping the direction of our circles. So again, we're having to switch that brain on again. Slow it down if you need to, just keep it nice and controlled. Okay, one more on each side. And rest. Nice, well done. Okay, so we're going to bring our arms down by our side next. And from here, we're going to bring our legs into tabletop. Okay, so tabletop 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the hips. In this position, we're just thinking still about that pelvis, so we're not letting our legs pull us into that gap between our back and the floor. We're keeping a little bit of a tucked tummy here, so a nice neutral position again. And then we're going to bring the legs right back down, so using those tummy muscles to lower the legs. And then back up into tabletop and down. Up and down, and keep breathing here. We're going to add some arms, so up over the head with the arms as we lift into tabletop, back down, drop the arms, and up, lift, down, drop. Nice flowing, keeping that nice tension through our tummy. Still breathing. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit harder this time. When we drop the arms and the legs, we're going to lift the head and shoulders off the floor with us. And then when we come up with the legs, over the head, drop the arms. Down and lift, up and drop. Keep breathing. Nice, controlled. Coming right back to that tabletop each time, so think about where your legs are ending up. Nice straight arms. Nice, and two more. Last one. And down nice and slowly. Well done. Good work. Okay, so we're going to pop back up into tabletop again. And then from here this time we're going to go for a little bit of rotation. So we can bring the arms out to the side, nice and wide. Again, think about what that pelvis is doing. You should be pretty much feeling the floor under your lower back. So a little bit of tension on the tummy to keep those legs in our tabletop. And then we're just slowly tilting to the side, one direction, just a little tilt, back to the middle, and the other side. Keep a little gap between your knees and your feet. So keep those legs nice and in line the whole way through. Don't let that position change as you tilt. Keep that nice position through the pelvis as well. If this is too hard for anyone, we're just going to do the same thing on the floor. Rotating. Keeping that little bit of pressure through that tummy. Keep breathing. See, can you go a little bit further, and then using those tummy muscles to bring you back nice and controlled. Keep your upper body here as relaxed as you can, so it should just be our middle that's working. If you're using your arms too much, don't lean as far. Okay, one more each side. And back down. Nice. Well done. Okay, have a reset. Alright, so this time we're going to go for a little bit of a twist. We're going to bring our hands to either side of our head, and we're from the floor, we're going to bring one leg, we're going to start in tabletop, both legs up to tabletop, lifting the head and shoulders. Okay, so this is our starting position, and then from here we're going to tap one knee with the opposite elbow, and we're going to drop the opposite leg, tapping the floor, and then back up to tabletop, back to middle position with the arms. So crossing over, twisting to the opposite knee, dropping the opposite leg, and back. So we're twisting basically. Back to tabletop each time with the legs. And breathe. Keep going. You don't have to worry about actually touching the leg with the elbow. The twist is enough. Keep that head and shoulders up. If this is too much for anyone, we're on the floor with the feet and we're just twisting without that tabletop position. So opposite leg is dropping, tapping the floor, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Nice work. Keep going. Let's go one more each side. 1, 2, and drop down. Well done. Okay. Okay. We're going to go for one more set of those. Progression here is to straighten that leg instead of just keeping it bent to tap the floor. Okay, so it's going to look the exact same, but we're straightening that opposite leg instead of keeping it bent. Okay, so our starting position is tabletop, head and shoulders up, hands either side of the head, and then from here we're crossing, twisting to the opposite leg, but this time our leg is straightening out. Back to tabletop, opposite elbow to opposite knee, straight leg, and back. Keep going. Now again, you can go back to the bent knee if this is too hard, bent knee version, or else we're going to try and go for that straight leg, get it nice and straight each time, and then back to tabletop. Keep breathing. One more each side. And rest. Nice work. Well done. Okay, have a breather. So we're going to go for some sit-ups next. Alright, so we've a few options here. Option 1, we're going to just go for normal sit-ups, so hands either side of the head, and we're crunching, keeping the knees bent, lifting the head and shoulders slightly off the floor. Number 2, we're going to sit up fully, but we're going to use our legs to help us. So we're bringing the legs in. Let's all just do 3 of these. So legs into the tummy, and then using our legs to help us sit up with a bit of momentum. So shooting the legs up, Lifting up nice and tall, arms up to the ceiling, and then down slowly, and legs in. Shooting those legs up tall, down nice and slowly, and legs into the tummy. Nice. So obviously the more momentum you use, the easier it is. The less momentum, the slower you do your legs, the harder it's going to be. And then our other option is to just use no momentum, arms over the head, reaching up, sitting up nice and tall, and then down nice and slowly and over the head. Okay, so off we go. Pick whichever one you want to work at. If you're finding one of them is too hard, you're holding your breath, or you're having to do this kind of thing, then just go back a level. So don't be afraid to use those legs to help you if you need to. Nice work. Up tall at the top each time. Big lift, reach, reach, reach. Nice. Okay, 2 more. And last one. Lovely. Okay, well done. Back down. Okay, so we're still on our back next, but this time we're going to do some bridging. And we're going to start with some normal bridging first. Bringing those legs into our bum. I want you to pop the hands on the pelvis again, so have a little feel. Where's that pelvis after going? Have a little tilt. Bring it back to that middle position. And then during our bridging, we're going to keep an eye on what that pelvis is doing. So we're not going to be arching it too much or tucking it too much. So keep the hands there, and then we're just going to start some bridging. So lifting the bum, squeeze the glutes up to that nice straight line between the knees, hips and shoulders. Up and down, and we're glute bridging here, so we're just thinking about using those glutes. Up and down. Nice. And then keep an eye on your knees here, so don't let those knees wobble. Nice and steady, so we're switched on through all of those small muscles around the hips. Nice. Okay, and then we're going to bring our feet nice and close together. And then from here, we're going to drop the knees out to the side. So nice and wide, opening up through those hips. And then we're going to pop the hands on the floor to start with, and lifting up into our glute from this position, and then down. So hands on the pelvis here again if you want, or the floor will give you a little bit more stability. But I really want you to think about not letting those legs wobble as we lift up and down. So nice and solid through the legs. Really using those smaller glute muscles here. It won't be as big a movement. Keep breathing. Really think about nice and steady, no wobble allowed. Hands to the ceiling if you want a little bit more of a challenge. It's going to be a little bit more unsteady. Thinking about what we're doing here. Warming up those side glute muscles. Nice. And have a little break. Well done. Okay, rolling onto our side next. So we've warmed up our little side glutes. So we're going to go into a side plank next. Okay, so our setup for our side plank, we'll run through this again nice and quickly. So kneeling position is an option. keep an eye that you're in a straight line here, okay? So not letting that bum back behind you. We're in a plank position, so a nice straight line. Knees, hips, shoulders should all be in line. And we're pushing through our elbows, so our elbow is under our shoulder, lifting the bum off the floor. Up into a nice plank, keeping that bum up nice and high, not letting it drop. Straight line again. Or our straight line with our feet. Same thing, but we're straightening through the legs. Okay, so we're going to hold for 10 seconds on each side, and then we'll do a few of them. All right, so pick whichever version you want to work at, and I'll count you in. 3, 2, 1, up we go. Hold, 2, 3. Keep breathing. Keep that bum up. And down. Nice work. Okay, soft sides. So just warming up a little bit. So either kneeling version or straight leg version again. Off we go. We'll go for 10 seconds again here. So think about what we're at. Elbow under the shoulder, straight line in the middle. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Nice. And hold. Keep breathing. Squeeze that bum. And down. Nice work. Okay. Back to the other side. So we're going to hold for a little bit longer here. We'll go for 15 seconds. A variation, if you want to work a little bit harder here, is arm up. That's already harder. And then we can go for some twists. So under with the arm, twist the body. Back up, nice and straight. Under and rotate. Okay, so that's your harder option if you want to do a bit more. Okay, 15 seconds. Ready to go. Kneeling or straight leg. 3, 2, 1, and up we go. And hold. Breathe. Glutes up. Squeeze those glutes. And down. Nice work. Well done. Swap sides. Okay, again, knees or feet. Elbow under the shoulder. Think about it nice and strong through that arm. So really pushing yourself away from the ground, keeping that arm nice and active. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, up we go. And hold. Rotations if you want. Keep breathing. Keep the bum up. And down. Nice work. Well done. Okay, back to the other side. Bring your pillow back if you like here. We're lying back down. Straight leg position. So straight legs all the way from the toes to the hips to the shoulder. We're going to pop our hands on our hips and just have a feel of where that pelvis is again. So we're going to keep that pelvis in the middle, so it's not rolled over, it's not rolled back. Nice and in line with our other hip. Okay, from here, I'm going to get you to lift the top leg so that there's a little gap between the feet. And then we're just going to do little pulses, lifting both legs up to the ceiling. So keep the gap between the feet, and we're lifting both legs slightly up and down, but we're keeping that gap between our feet. Okay, so imagine there's a little ball between your feet, and we're just trying to hold on to that ball the whole way through the movement. So up and down. Have your hand on your pelvis so that you can keep an eye on what's happening there. So not allowing it to wobble too much in the middle. Okay, keep going. Squeeze those glutes to lift up. Hand on the floor is a little bit easier here if you're wobbling a lot. Okay, 2 more. 1 and 2. Nice. Have a little break. Okay, we'll stay on this side and we'll do 1 more set. So thinking about what we're doing here, we're just trying to lift the whole lower body off the floor slightly, just tiny movement here. And we're keeping that nice gap between our feet as we do it. Okay, off we go. Let's do 10 more. So nice little gap, and then lifting, pulsing. More of a pulse than a lift, I suppose. It's a small movement. That top leg is hovering off the ground because it's keeping that gap the whole way through. And last one. Well done. Okay, swap sides. Making your way over to the other side. Getting set up. Okay, getting your nice setup here. Hips on top of each other. Little gap between the legs. And off we go. So lifting and lowering. Nice and relaxed through the upper body here. Nice. Keep that gap. 1 more. And rest. Okay, have a little break. Nice work. Okay, 1 more set. Alright, let's get this really nice for the last set. So really thinking about what we're at. Hips stacked on top of each other. You can pop that hand on the mat to make it a bit easier. Lifting the top leg, getting that nice gap between the feet. And then we're lifting both legs slightly off the floor. So that bottom leg is slightly off. Keeping that nice gap. Imagine that ball between your feet again. Well done, 1 more. And rest. Nice, have a little stretch for that bum. Good work. Okay, we're nearly done. We'll finish with a little bit of a stretch. Rolling onto the tummy. Hands under the shoulders. Nice and relaxed through our lower body. And then from here we're just pushing up slightly, getting a nice little stretch through that lower back. And then down nice and slowly. Up and down. Feeling that nice stretch as we work into that back extension. So see, can you come a little bit higher each time? Nice. And then pushing up and sitting back on our heels into a nice child's pose stretch to finish. And while we're here, let's just do a little bit of breathing. So thinking about in and out through the nose. Feel the tummy rise as we breathe in. Feeling that pressure of the tummy on the legs and then letting go. Dropping a little bit further into the floor. Tummy rises. We're feeling that belly expand against the legs. And as the air falls out, we're dropping slowly further into that stretch. then making your way nice and slowly up when you're ready. Okay, well done guys. And that was good. I kind of ran out of time a little bit, but we went through everything a little bit more slowly. And I will be putting up my plans for the classes for the next few weeks. So keep an eye on the page and I'll let you know what's happening. And we'll probably keep the same times, but we might change things a little bit. All right, well done. Have a good day. Bye.